Welcome to my December reading wrap-up. This is going to be a very short video because I only read 4 books in December. This was my slowest reading month. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know why I read so few, but at the beginning of the month, I'm just going to jump right into it because there's not a lot to say. So at the beginning of the month, I listened to an audiobook that I started in November and then I finished in December called Old Man's War by John Scalzi. It is sci-fi. Really cool concept. I quite liked the book. I gave it 4 to 5. It's the first in a series. I'm not going to continue with the series, I don't think. Basically what happens in the book is there's an old man, and I believe it's on your 70th or 75th birthday. You can sign up to become a part of this organization that is basically the space army for humans, and they're not sure how they make the old people in fighting condition, but they do. So all the human 75-year-olds can decide to enlist or not. Our main character enlists. He goes to space. He changes so that he has an able body to fight with. We find out how, and it's about him fighting in space. I really enjoyed it. I liked how it was written. I thought it was funny. And there are some cool themes going on there. I did get a little bored midway through, but overall it was a very good book. My second book that I read this month was Maybe Someday. I also listened to the audiobook of that. I gave that book 3 to 5. It's written by Colleen Hoover. I read another Colleen Hoover book this year, which called something about merit. Something merit. And I really liked that book, so I was looking forward to reading to this Colleen Hoover book. This one, I liked it, 3 to 5. It's about a boy and a girl, so each chapter flips from her perspective to his perspective. It's just a romance, contemporary romance about how they meet and how they fall in love, and just that their connection is so strong, they're drawn to each other. And it was a nice book. The third book I read this month was Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I gave this book a 3 to 5. A good contemporary book. This girl, we follow the main character. She's moving from New York to Los Angeles, and there is one moment where she makes a decision, and from that decision her life progresses. But then we see if she had gone the other route, how her life would have progressed if she had made a different decision. So basically, she goes out to the bar with her friend, and there's like a high school reunion. So the decision was, does she go home with her old high school flame, or does she go home to her friend's house and crash there and not sleep with him? So in one life, she decided to go home with him, and in another life, she decided not to go home, and we see how her life unfolds from there. So the concept is really, really cool. I really liked seeing, how one life played out versus the other, and it was a really interesting story in that sense, to write a story that way. It was like, it's not a life-changing book, and it's not super duper interesting. It's just a good old contemporary. So 3 to 5. And the last book I read this month was one that Carlos and I were actually listening to together. We started all the way back in October. It's Origin by Dan Brown. It's the 5th book in the Langdon series. So we decided to start listening to this book when we have to drive out to volleyball on Sunday nights, because where we play volleyball is about an hour drive from our house. So we would listen to about 2 hours of the book every Sunday for like more than 8 weeks. Neither of us really cared for it. We each gave it a 2 out of 5. And we listened to another of the Langdon books, I think the 4th one in the series, the one where he's like going through Italy and Turkey. that one we really, really, really liked. So we kind of had high expectations for this one. It didn't turn out too good. We follow Professor Langdon going to Spain, and his friend, who's a scientist, is unveiling his new discovery, and this discovery is basically going to prove that there's no God and prove that religions are what's the respectful word to say, that religions aren't correct? I don't know how I want to say that, but basically this man proves that science is real and God didn't create the earth. But of course, before he's going to unveil this, he gets murdered. So Langdon has to go on this hunt to find out what his finding was, what he discovered. How is he going to prove that God doesn't exist? So it's all about him trying to get his friend's message out into the world. It was just okay. I mean, it's kind of a cool story, but for the plus 20 hours of having listened to it, it wasn't worth it. And that was my December. Those 4 books. Today I'm feeling this is January 2nd, and I'm going to finish one of my audiobooks today, so it's a couple days off of finishing another one for December, but that's okay. It'll be my first book finished in the new year, and it is a good one. So tune in to my January reading wrap-up to know what that one was, because it was really, really good. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.